Wait for the old man to slide.
What's going on?
You need that part.
What's going on?
That's our parents right now trying to figure out why we're here right now. Wait, where did our kids go? Welcome everybody to heterochroMEDIA. We have been talking about Neon Genesis Evangelion and Pink Floyd's The Wall for, well, if we started this at that time,
Like 6 hours.
5 hours.
Yeah. I mean, if you count, we started watching End of Evangelion at like 4.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
God damn you, Roger Waters and Hideaki Anno. I hope you two meet someday.
Turns out they're like best friends.
And can talk about how you put free Pennsylvanians through hell.
They don't. They'll be like, good.
I'm whipped.
Buddy, I got more in the tank.
You do.
I'm not even. The sad thing is, I'm not even a little bit drunk, and I wish I was, but I'm not.
I
Drink a Troganator Trogger.
I don't want
That's
to.
pretty good.
It's really good. I highly recommend. Am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah, Troganator?
No, well,
Or it's Trogs.
Trogs, but the brand is Troganator. The dog is alive.
Good.
She's probably like, why are y'all still up?
She's like, it's past my bedtime.
The dog is the smartest person in the room right now.
Yeah.
She always is.
Dogs are always the smartest people in the room, to be honest.
I don't know why, but ever since I came back for like my time off on Thanksgiving, I have woken up every day at 5 a.m., regardless of when I went to bed, and I don't know why.
Well, we'll clock it tonight, this morning.
Yeah, but so I think I'm running on 20 hours of sleep for the past 5 days. I'm feeling it, Mr. Krabs.
So, we have been spending, for us, it's been this past several hours, this entire night. For you, it's probably been the past several months talking about Neon Genesis Evangelion. Which, to be fair, Evangelion took up 2/3 of our evening.
We knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, and then The Wall was the final third. But The Wall, what it lacked in quantity, made up for in magnitude. How many TVs again did Pink break?
Over.
He broke at least 2. And he had at least 3.
Wish I can have that type of money. We're fascinated by the dog over here.
She's a baby.
Yeah, I think so. What we're gonna attempt to do, since this is heterochroMEDIA, we always end these arcs by comparing the two media.
Yep.
The time has finally come to compare Pink Floyd's The Wall with Neon Genesis Evangelion, and I'm pointing to The Wall DVD, but I'm pretending it's actually an Evangelion DVD.
I should have brought my Oscar figure.
You have an Oscar figure?
Yeah, should I bring it out?
Bring it out!
Yeah!
Make it a party.
Stop holding back on the merchandise. We're going to live off of Evangelion merchandise. So, I decided that this is less about comparing the two, and this is in fact our trial. To question what we are as nerdom. Oh my god. Oh, it's cool. It's her in sundress too.
Yeah, I got a Techo.
I'll take a
$40.
Wow.
Which is pretty good
That's
for an Ava
epic.
figure.
And I'm going to struggle to unplug the phone. Is there a reason all of your outlets just kind of sag?
The ones out here are just really old.
Yeah.
That's fair.
They've seen a thing or two.
Look at that. Look, Asuka is finally together with... Honestly, would you say... Who if we were going to compare The Wall with Evangelion, who goes through the wall more literally between the two of them?
Shinji.
Yeah, fair enough, Shinji. But I feel like the part where Asuka's completely
I could see
X'd out in the tub is the closest we get to a visual of The Wall where Pink is just slumped in the chair.
I could see her making fascism.
She is German.
Yeah.
And partly German.
And there are a lot of memes that play on that.
A lot of memes. Alright. Let's state the obvious. What's the biggest similarity between these two?
Mental breakdown.
Yeah.
Mental breakdown's very good. And not only in the literal sense of what's happening to the characters, but in the meta sense, what's happening to the show.
What are you doing?
Because she didn't go while we were out there.
She didn't?
Well, no, because, like, we go out there and all I'm hearing is heavy footfalls through the leaves. It's something from the abyss next door.
Yeah.
Hey, we haven't talked about that before.
It's fine.
No.
They don't need a dox this place.
Oh, I won't dox that place, no, but just our neighbor's property is
Haunted as shit.
some kind of, there's,
We can make a movie out of it.
we hear all kinds of odd things.
Screaming and groaning.
Bob Geldof screaming, Spike
Footsteps.
Spencer screaming. It's all
and
coming out of that wood
screeches.
lot.
It's
Yeah,
friggin' whack, man.
it is freaking whack.
So, yeah, the obvious thing is mental breakdown. Not only from the literal perspective, like what's happening to the characters, but from a creative perspective, what's happening behind the scenes. Mental breakdown. Both products are inspired by mental breakdowns.
Yeah.
With Neon Genesis Evangelion, it's Anno's breakdown, having to deal with the stress of producing Nadia, and coming to realization how crappy the television system is. At least it was in Japan in the early 1990s, and going into complete depression. And where the wall is, you're dealing with Roger Waters coming to realization he does not like what the band has become. He does not like doing big concerts. At least he doesn't like going to a place where people are there that really don't want to listen to his music. They just want to have a party and don't care about his art. And he's just so infuriated by it. So yeah, that's an obvious. And then life imitated art.
Yeah.
Essentially both where Anno's like, I'm going to take all my frustrations and all my depression and make that into I mustn't run away, I mustn't run away, I mustn't run away, which take a shot every time Shinji says I mustn't run away in the show.
And then proceeds to run away.
Yeah, it proceeds to run away. To be fair, I was about to say Anno doesn't run away, but well,
He had to take breaks, and that's understandable.
that's understandable. To always take a break. It's okay to go do something completely different. I always say that as a creative mindset. It's okay to just drop what you, even if you love what you're doing, just to drop it and do something completely different. And weirdly enough, Anno, after doing Evangelion, he did a romantic comedy.
Really?
Yeah.
What was it called?
Let me pull it up. Wow, this final episode is just going to be editing it.
So he did a rom-com slice of life?
It was a high school rom-com slice of life. It
Well,
had
they're
a
all high
lot.
school,
It
so
had a
it's-
lot of it. It was also quite a deconstruction in its own right. And the final few episodes get very, very minimalistic. Also,
Cool.
yeah, called Kari Kano or His and Her Circumstances,
I feel like I've heard it.
which
I
was
was gonna say, that sounds vaguely familiar.
it was a Japanese manga initially that he adapted. So yeah, he did something that you would consider completely different. We're back again.
Yep, hopefully dog's taken care of now, so we can keep on, keep it on.
Keep on. Yeah, so creative breakdown, depression, all that wonderful stuff.
Yep, good times.
Yeah, and in a similar sense, you have Roger Waters, who effectively, he was inspired to create this album because he wanted nothing to do with the audience that was causing ruckuses at concerts. But in another sense, whether he intended it to or not, he ended up also causing a rift within the band because he became so dedicated to this project and really wouldn't allow anybody to tamper with it that it led to his ousting of Pink Floyd. I think Roger Waters thought it would lead to the downfall of the band entirely, but in reality it just led to his ousting. I didn't really talk about in the last one, I'll talk about now. After recording The Wall, doing the concert, doing the movie, the three remaining band members, Richard Wright is out by now. So you have Nick Mason, David Gilmour, Roger Waters go back and record another album, which is the final cut. When the Tigers Broke Free was supposed to be on the final cut. And the final cut started out with like leftover stuff not used for The Wall. But then as the Falklands War occurred and Waters got really pissed off with Margaret Thatcher and her administration and conducting the war. And I think a lot has to do with the fact that he saw it as another colonial struggle. And he's like, why are we doing this in the late 20th century? Like, we gave a lot of these other parts of our empire independence. Why are we still in the 20th century going back and playing? Because at the end of the day, the Falklands War was Britain trying to defend a tiny island like thousands of miles away. And though greatly smaller in casualties compared to previous conflicts, especially the 20th century, people, of course, still died. I mean, It's one of the only, I think it's so far the only war to actually have a nuclear submarine to be actually used in combat, to actually attack an enemy ship. It's the only time.
To attack an enemy ship, maybe. I think during, like, the War on Terror, like, I think
Well, granted, you had them firing missiles, but actually have a nuclear submarine sink.
Like, launch a torpedo? Yeah, no, I can't.
It's the only time, pray to God it is the only time that ever happened. So Waters was visibly upset about that and thinking about his father, and it was like, more people are going to be in a similar state than I was. So I think a lot of that influenced the final cut, and most of the album is generally considered just a Roger Waters solo album with Gilmore and Mason providing the music. There's one really good song, Not Now John.
Not now John, we've gotta get on with the film show. Gotta get on, gotta get on. Hollywood waits at the end of the rainbow.
Really catchy song, and it's oddly weird talking about on this episode because it makes a lot of criticisms about how Japan was taking over other countries' economies at this point. It's very interesting, very meta. This is meta beyond meta. It was like the only single from the album too. But after that moment, Waters decided he was done with Pink Floyd and he was going to go do a solo career and figured Pink Floyd was dead. But as I've explained to you two folks, Pink Floyd continued, thankfully, and made more music and fantastic concert films, which allows us to visually see Pink Floyd in all of its glory to this very day.
Yep.
So it's very interesting to think about that this album, The Wall, effectively ended Roger Waters' time with the band, even if they didn't know it at the time. It changed what Pink Floyd would be remembered as in later years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, both things have in common creative breakdown. Just as we mentioned earlier with the one interview from the Anno's basically deputy director, that they actually enjoyed that they were incorporating their creative breakdown into Evangelion, like visualizing it, and kind of probably helped them get through some tough times, like just putting it into the art. So that's definitely probably the obvious comparison. Now I wrote down a couple other ones. This is just me rambling. These are coincidences, I think. The visual of Ava 1 in episode 16 breaking out of the 12th angel, which I'm too drunk to remember its name. Apologize, purists.
Bill?
Bill's a good name.
Yeah.
Bill the Angel?
Bill the Angel. Are all the angels Bill?
Bill.
Or are you saying all angels look alike?
No, they do not. I'm not an angelist. I'm the Jordan.
This is the level of quality jokes you're getting at this point.
I know angelist, but $20 is $20.
$10, a lot of money.
$3.50.
We're getting canceled. Anyways, that when Ava 1 breaks out of the 12th angel, that basketball whatever thing, and the blood is oozing, or what's supposed to be, I guess, blood oozing, and it comes out like that, reminds me a lot of when you have that white dove flying away and breaks into that black hawk going into Goodbye Blue Sky.
Yep.
Reminds me a lot of it. That's a very interesting visual. Soothing songs with dark lyrics.
Yeah, comme ça se tente.
Yeah, I compared it to, at least on here, I compared it to Comfortably Numb.
Yeah.
Because
I can see that.
Yeah, they're both very soothing songs. Which I might be falling asleep to one of them here shortly.
Yeah. That's my, like, the intercontinental missiles are flying overhead, and I'm going to grab a bottle of whiskey, I'm going to turn that song on and walk out of my yard.
There is no pain you aren't receiving.
I know
I let you down. I've been a fool to myself.
I thought that I could leave for no one else. You don't know this.
No, not as much as
Yeah, so yeah, definitely. I think, honestly, as much as I will keep saying it for different examples, Kama Susur Todd?
Yeah.
Komm Susser Todd.
Kama Susur Todd.
Come Sweet Death.
Why is it?
Mood.
It's German, correct?
It's in German.
Yeah.
Well, the title's in German.
Why is the title in German? The song's
It's
complete
originally,
English.
It's originally
wasn't it? It's originally German, probably.
Yeah, I think it's originally.
I'm not really sure
German
though.
song. Allow me to.
Yeah, look into that. I'm very curious about that because they picked an English singer to do it. It's originally in English.
I think it's a Japanese singer singing English because she sounds very similar to.
No, it's not. I think she's like a New Zealander or an Australian that sung it, but it's originally meant to be in English, which is weird. Yeah, it's one of them weird. What were the creators behind it thinking? Unless they just wanted to mesh all styles, which is really cool.
Yeah.
It's a haunting song, and I will say I may kind of prefer it over Cruel Angel's Feasts, only because it's much more vibey. Like I can at the end of when I'm up really late working on content or working on content, it really is a good one. Just the vibe too. Plus it's longer. Yeah, I need more music.
So, Come Sister Tot is the English language song plays during Third Impact. It was performed by South African-born British singer Ariana.
Okay.
Backed by piano, pipe organ, and various string arrangements by Shiro Sagazo.
Okay.
And the original lyrics were by Hideaki Anno.
Okay.
Oh wow!
And were translated, or were later adapted in English by Mike Wazowski.
Mike Wazowski.
That's gotta, apparently.
Mike is a traveling person here.
Oh man,
He's a journeyman. I mean, he shows up in the John Brown Isekai. Now he's here. And for those that don't know what the John Brown Isekai is, whole other story for another day. So
I do know.
Okay.
German gets used a lot in anime for some reason. I don't know, artsy, but
Artsy fartsy.
yeah. Well, also Oscar's German, so that counts.
Yeah.
And so is Seele.
Yeah. I mean, the wall ends with fascist rally.
Yeah.
Even though fascism isn't a German idea, that started in Italy.
Yep.
Why does everyone forget Mussolini? Because he wasn't as good at doing fascism.
I think it's because he
Not
got
as talented.
Yeah, I think he got overshadowed by Hitler, but then also Mussolini kind of got ousted, relatively bloodlessly compared to
Well, he was freaking hung.
Well, he was, but he stepped down prior to that, didn't he? He was under house arrest somewhere.
Yeah, he was under house arrest.
Wait. So hung
Yeah.
You say you're freaking hung, and I just imagine.
Well, what happened was in 1943. What happened in 1943 was fascist Italy just effectively surrendered to the Allies.
Yeah, they're
once the Allies showed up after Sicily, they're like, "Oh, thank God!" They're like, "We're done with this." But then Nazi Germany got furious, so Nazi Germany went into Italy and put their troops there. And it's like, no, we're going to take control of it. We are the captains now.
And then they rescued Mussolini and put him in charge of a puppet government, basically. And then, him and his wife got publicly executed.
And remember,
damn, shoddy.
Who was fighting in Anzio?
Yep.
It all connects.
Yeah, the real dictator everybody forgets about is Franco. That dude was in power till the freaking
we had a social and political movements class. Basically, it was an ideology class.
Yeah.
Somebody did a really good paper talking about fascist Spain, and actually, I threw it out as a prompt earlier. Just asking.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's interesting? Fascist Spain. We talked about the Second World War ending fascism. No, it didn't.
Yeah.
It ended Nazi Germany, hopefully. And then, but yet all these smaller up-group movements. A lot of small factions turned to fascism after the Second World War, more than before, because they had nothing left because of the war. And when you had Western powers move in, they felt alien, and that's when you start seeing nationalism really take off, in small underground movements. It's really interesting. But yeah, Spain is just over here from the 1930s until the 1970s, and Spain's fascism, it changes so many different times how to describe it. It's one of them weird things that I don't know. It's just
I don't know enough about it.
Yeah, there's so many different phases to it. So, but somebody did a really good paper on it, and if whatever reason, whoever realizes that they were in my class and is listening to this, I liked your paper, so thank you.
I think it's fascinating that we've somehow ended up on Francoist Spain.
Fascist, man, paying fascist rally.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, Come Susuru Todd, which I'm butchering. Fantastic. I should just say Come Sweet Death.
Yeah.
Come Sweet Death, Comfortably Numb. Great double feature in terms of songs.
Hits right in the feels.
Also, both about the same length, about 6 minutes each.
Yeah.
Yeah, roughly. I don't think they're exact, of course. I don't think that's intentional, but yeah, very interesting. Then we move down to. I'm ready to talk about it. Get ready. We're about to get canceled. I mean, we're about to get ready to get thrown off of YouTube. But we gotta talk about it.
That we do.
Sexual tension.
Yep, there's a lot that we didn't talk about it when we were talking
For
about
obvious
it.
reasons. Maybe this won't even release on YouTube. Maybe it'll just be a Buzzsprout exclusive. You gotta know who you are. Who knows?
This section has been censored by the temple.
As I've written, conscious mean written, both Asuka and Pink's wife push the protagonists of both properties closer to a breaking point. Asuka toys with Shinji regularly, formal expansion, kissing him, rejecting whenever he asks about her mother. Pink's wife's affair in later warped image of her torturing Pink.
Uh-huh.
Also, both are redheads. Which is weird because I think Asuka's not actually a redhead in the manga. I think she's blonde. Weird. Anyways.
That's an odd change to make.
Yeah. And I always feel weird describing people as redheads because define redhead, I'm like, there's like the animation version of redhead, which is like very orange and almost red.
Yeah.
Then you have the real life where you end up with somebody like Chisato and like Horace Recoil, and then she's not a redhead at all. She's like, I think they call it like a cherry blonde.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, what's funny is that's kind of the
Drunk,
tip.
go with me.
That's kind of the tip of the iceberg when it comes to like we didn't really talk about it all. We were going through.
No, let's go for it now.
We're not touching everything, but like
No, not everything.
there's a lot of there's a lot of sexual imagery in both products.
Flowers.
Yeah, the flowers in the wall. Actually, quite a few graphic depictions of sex as well.
Just for the movie.
Yeah, for the movie.
It's kind of hard for the
Album to be, yeah.
Well, wait. Keep talking.
Yeah, the anime has a lot of nudity. Well,
It's not
especially
inherently sexual nudity.
it's not inherently sexual nudity, but in End of Evangelion, with all the other symbolism going on, it becomes, yeah, he's just right there.
As a ball sack.
We're looking at the inside of the Wall album art right now.
No sexual actions being depicted.
Yeah.
There's a lot of our weird shit.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gerald.
Very cool. But yeah, and they play. I don't know if I'd say it's central roles, but they definitely add on and aggravate everything else that's going on in the movies.
No, I don't think, and not to say they're pieces of the wall in both aspects.
Mm-hmm.
They're both like, this isn't like the breaking point itself, but this is adding to it.
Yeah.
It's reaching to the tension. And like I said again earlier, the movie of The Wall definitely makes Pink a little more sympathetic in his position, where it's like his wife is just not understanding how detached he's become and how frustrated he is. Mm-hmm. And she just wants pleasure from him, to be honest. She disrobes at one point right in front of him, and Pink has no response.
Yeah, he's conked out.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, just not real life. She does, like, jokingly in the movie ask, is there anybody in there?
Yep.
It's like, I saw what you did there. We're getting there. We're gonna get there. But I was shocked when I first watched this, especially considering it's not even to say they're teenagers, they're tweeners. They're just at the end of tweeners in Evangelion.
14 years old.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a thing in anime. Sadly.
That is
It is, but they usually play for cutesies, not how Evangelion portrays it.
Yeah.
It's very weird that they're thinking this way. To be fair, I don't think the kids themselves fully grasp it, so it's not like they're being malicious. They're just trying to figure out. It's called puberty, folks, and they're trying to figure it out.
Well, y'all... Nothing. I'm not good.
You're just like, Jess is giving up. She's like, on that one, I ain't touching it. Anyways,
Yeah, it's kind of how we felt about it when we were talking through.
We didn't talk about it at one point. I think it's like episode. I think it's during the episode where they're trying to the dancing episode.
Yeah,
the best episode of Evangelion, of course, the dancing episode. Asuka sleepwalks into Shinji's room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Gets into bed with him, and credit to Shinji, does not reciprocate.
Yep.
Actually, again, and I'm not a fan of Shinji at all because I am one of the people that just wants to get in the goddamn robot. But I'm like, I'll admit it when he's a badass. Like, nope. He's like, this is not right.
He's just sitting there listening to his freaking...
He's listening to Radiohead.
He's listening to Radiohead on his Walkman. And he's like, bruh.
Well, you know in my reality what I think he's listening to, but that's a story for
But I think in the morning, doesn't Asuka imply that she did that as some kind of test, too, even though it...
Yeah,
totally
maybe. Maybe, but like, then again, I'm trying to remember the show, and I'm going off of the description from the wiki, and it says she sleepwalks.
Yeah.
So
Well,
take that as your will.
Well, her saying that was probably her way of, like, saving face or whatever, but...
Like, I did not do that.
Okay, so she basically waked up before he did in that room.
Yeah, like, oh, it was a test. Well,
she does
I
it
tricked
again.
her out.
Yeah, then she ones up that with the freaking kiss.
Yeah.
Which is just awkward. I like when Pen walks in. And even he just realizes, what the fuck?
He's like, hold up.
Well, he realizes not...
He's like, I live with Masato. This is the cringiest thing I've seen.
Well, he's realized, like, this is not love. Like, this is... She's kissing him because she wants to see if he'll make a reaction.
Yep.
And it's at that moment... I also think, too, at that moment, that might be Asuka's... One of her beginnings of falling apart. Because she's up to that point just believing Shinji has to be this almighty pilot. There gotta be something to him. There gotta be something.
Yeah, there's nothing.
And his reaction is nothing. Which you can't blame Shinji because he's like, dude, you just forced yourself on me, and I don't know how to respond to that. It's like you weren't doing it in like a harmful way, but what do you want?
Yeah.
So yeah, but then when you go back to the wall, you definitely get the again. If you're in the concert, you get the wife puppet, which is very grotesque.
Yeah.
Like I said, it looks like a Venus flytrap. And then you get the phenomenal... I cannot preach enough how phenomenal that sequence is in the movie.
Yeah.
God,
The animation.
that might be my favorite sequence in the movie now. Really just thinking about it. It's such a blend. Like, 1982! 1982 they were doing this! How far has cinema fallen?
Not far if you know where to look.
Yeah, you can still find gems.
I know, but...
Just don't...
Well, to be fair, this is not mainstream
Movies have
media.
been subject to
Even for the 80s.
capitalism, and now they're just money hogs. You have to look for this lower ground stuff. I'm a big movie buff, so I'm
looking forward to Inside.
Barbarian was pretty good.
Barbarian was good. It was a...
Barbarian?
It was a horror movie that came out this year.
Heard of the title.
Or was it like late last year?
I think it was last year.
But it was actually like pretty solid.
Cool. I'm down.
Like it had some interesting stuff going on.
I'm cool. I'm down to that. So yeah, sexual tension definitely exploited.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to get into the whole mother aspect. I think that explains it.
Yeah, there's mom trauma. That's
I think we made that pretty.
Yeah, I don't think we need to beat that dead horse.
Oh. A violent breakdown.
Yeah.
Ava 1 goes into berserk mode several times.
Yes.
The one I picked in particular was with the 14th Angel, the one where it eats it.
Yep.
Oh, I love that.
That's like the most violent it ever gets.
And then kills Toji.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
That was Gendo.
Well, yeah, but it definitely caused some major trauma to Shinji.
Yeah.
It caused him to break so hard.
See, the reason I'm picking the 14th Angel... Oh, wait, that is the same.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I didn't realize.
No, that's what I'm saying. It broke Shinji so hard that his spine reattached itself and he held his dad at gunpoint.
Damn.
Well, what about the one... No, then it can't be the same one, the 14th Angel. I thought that's the one where he's one with the fluid.
He eats a couple angels in the...
Wow.
I'm fairly certain. Let me
Yeah,
check.
I'm thinking of the one in particular where he after Ava 1 eats the angel, he becomes one with the fluid. 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 All right, we're going to pause here as my drunken counterpart and exhausted co-host, I feel we're starting to get the plot together of comparing The Wall to Neon Genesis Evangelion. And we weren't joking, folks. This took us several hours to record over one night. So until next week, when the next and final installment of this saga comes out, be sure to check all 3 of our channels out, see what we're up to, and be sure that if you're not subscribed already, subscribe to the heterochroMEDIA podcast. We'll see you guys in the next episode.